Feeling this connection with self. Recognizing our energy, our breath, how we feel on the inside through our body and our mind. Taking a moment to distance ourselves from the world around us. As we distance ourselves, we can still keep that connection with the world around us, but also feel our relationship with that world by checking in with ourselves first, by acknowledging the simplicity of our breath, of our body and space, of our mind. So we're perfectly capable of complex thinking. Can we let it be simple? As simple as breathing in and out. Can we take our time with our breath and encourage that same feeling to move through our mind, our thoughts. And when we start to move, let that simplicity come into our bodies. Feet. And bending our knees. And then draw one knee into our chest at a time. Putting our foot down, switching sides. Just allowing this movement to be gentle as we continue to move one leg at a time. And as you find this movement, let this be a practice of honoring self, of making or allowing the positions and the movement to honor where you are and what you need. Maybe we begin to extend legs. Maybe we allow our legs to hover, adding in core stability. And then drawing both knees into our chest, giving them a hug. Opening our arms out like wings. Let's draw our knees forward. We can let our feet hang. We can bring our shins parallel to the ceiling and then begin to rock our knees side to side. Starting with a movement that's about halfway to one side and then the other. And then begin to expand that movement. Maybe placing a block between our legs if that's what we need today, offering that stability to our hips. And then coming back to center, drawing our knees back into our chest. Taking a moment to allow ourselves to feel grounded into this position. Making the connection with the solid surface below us. Doesn't necessarily have to be our feet. It's our connection to the surface below us. And then rocking forward and back, coming up to seated, extending our legs forward, sitting up nice and tall. Let's inhale, reach our hands up to the ceiling. And then exhale, bring our arms parallel to the ground as we lean back with a neutral spine. Shoulders stay down away from our ears. Core is engaged. Chest is open. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. Taking our hands to our side, rounding our back. And then inhale, lift our chest, reach our hands up. Exhale, lean back, bringing our arms parallel to the ground. Keep our legs engaged so they're slightly reaching towards each other, even though they're not really moving. And our heels are gently pressing into the ground, or our legs, anywhere in our legs, pressing down. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, lean back. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold. Continuing this pattern in a breathing pattern that honors you. Maybe begin to slow it down. Allowing this to be an opportunity of meditation and movement. The ability to move, to recognize our breath, how we approach self, and how we treat our bodies as we move. Let's flow one more time. Reaching our hands up, leaning back, coming back up, and fold and hold. Rise all the way up. Let's come to a standing position at the front of our mat. As we find our standing position, let's walk our feet out just a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Bend our knees, sink our hips back, place our hands on our thighs. And then on our next exhale, let's round our back like a Halloween cat. Tucking our tailbone, creating space between our shoulder blades, turning our gaze down. And then inhale, reach our tailbone back, lengthen across our belly, open up our chest, draw our shoulders back and down. Exhaling, rounding, hugging our bellies in. And inhale, reach our tailbone back, lengthen across our belly, open up our chest. And exhaling, rounding. And inhale, open. Exhale, round. And inhale, open. One more time. And then come back to a neutral spine. Reaching our hands up to the ceiling, walking our feet back in, hip width distance apart. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Step our right foot back. Lower our knee down to the mat, followed by our foot. Reach all the way up. Holding, tucking our tailbone, letting our shoulders relax down. And then take our left hand to our thigh, lean over to the left. And rise back up. Hands come down to the floor. Lift our back knee and straighten our front leg to what feels good for us. Turn our gaze slightly forward, engaging our back. Then bend our front knee, push off from our back foot and step forward, folding at the front of our mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Step our left foot back. Lower our left knee down, followed by our foot. Reach our hands up to the ceiling, tucking our tailbones, softening our shoulders. And slowly reach over to the right. And come back up. Hands come down to the floor. Lift our back knee. Straighten our front leg. Turning our gaze forward. And Bending our front knee, push off through our back foot and step forward and fold. Bend our knees a lot. Turn our gaze forward, reach our hands up. Hands come to heart center. Let's walk our feet out just a little bit. Inhale, sweep our hands up. And then on our exhale, we're going to bend our knees, hinge from our hips, sweep our hands forward, and then down and back. And as we reach back, straighten our legs, lifting our tailbone up. Bend our knees again, turn our gaze forward, sweep our hands forward and up as we stand up. We're going to move a little bit quicker. Exhaling, come down. Straightening our legs as we reach our hands back. And inhaling, come up. Moving with strong legs. We're going to find a couple more just like this. Finding the movement, the pattern. Noticing the stability of legs and back as we flow. And then we're going to reach up. And this time I want you to imagine everything that you've been hanging on to over this last week. We're going to throw it on the ground. Exhaling quickly as we do so. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, throw it all on the ground. Inhale, rise up. Moving as quick as you like. Forcing that breath out as much as you're letting go of all that you've been hanging on to. If it's important, you'll pick it up again. If it needs to be addressed, you'll pick it up again. But right now, just let it go. Throw it down. Pause at the top for a moment, then do it again. Let it be less about the speed of the movement up and down, and more about throwing it down and pausing at the top. One more time. And then hands come to heart center. Gaze comes to our fingertips. Honor your breathing by just simply recognizing it and allowing it to be exactly what it is. Inhale, sweep our hands up. Exhale, fold. Walk both feet back, plank. Lower all the way down. Cobra, opening our heart. Exhale, downward facing dog and hold. Walk forward, front of our mat. And fold. Letting go of our head, our neck, our shoulders. Begin to shake our heads yes. Shaking our heads no. Bringing our heads to center. Let's take our hands to our upper arms. Allowing gravity to lengthen a little bit more. And placing our hands back down on the mat. Inhale, walk both feet back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra, opening our heart. Holding, breathing. Feeling our feet reach back. Tops of our feet gently press into the mat. Feel the length of our low back as we press our tailbone down. And then lower down. Slide our hands underneath our forehead and relax. Letting go of our neck. Allowing gravity to push our head back. And releasing our hands out from underneath our head, let's place our left cheek on the mat. Lift our feet up. Allowing length across the front of our thighs, making sure there's no tension in the back of our hips. If there is, reach your feet back a little bit more until that tension is gone. Then begin to rock our feet side to side, keeping our feet moving in the same direction. Maybe slide your feet on the inside of your legs. And then bringing our feet to center, lower them down to the floor. Lift our head, place our right cheek on the floor. And then from this position, draw one heel towards your glute at a time. And then releasing both feet down to the floor. Let's slide our hands back to the side of our chest. Let our head hover above the floor. Feel the engagement of our back by just allowing our head to hover. Feel the stability along our spine. Feel our shoulder blades remain firm on our back. Then begin to come up onto our fingertips and walk our fingers out away from our body, pointing our elbows up to the ceiling, keeping our head hovering above the floor. Notice, do you grip anywhere in your back? Can you allow your back to remain evenly engaged? Notice subtleties of pulling our shoulder blades in different directions. Notice if you engage one side of your back more than the other. Allowing this to be an experience of checking in. Walk our hands forward like we're creating a Y with our arms. Keeping our fingertips on the floor, shoulders down away from our ears. Head is still hovering above the floor. Again, check in. Are we evenly engaging our back? You can stay here. Option to walk our fingertips up and forward like we're creating an I with our body. Check in with how we're engaging our back. How we're engaging our shoulders. How we're engaging our shoulder blades. Our spine. Then walk our fingertips back towards our shoulders. Then back towards our ribs. Hugging our shoulder blades together, hugging our elbows in. Now you're gonna have the option of doing that again, walking with fingertips, or if you'd like to make it a little bit harder, you can extend arms off the floor. So maybe coming out to a T formation, head still remains hovered above the floor. Then coming to a Y. Option to come to an I. And then draw the elbows back for a W. Really feeling how the shoulder blades pull down our back. And again, go to a T, extending our arms out. Feel the difference in your shoulder blades. Come out to a Y. Come out to an I. Pulling the elbows back, come to a W. And then place our hands back to the side of our chest and lower down. Letting our head rest on the floor. Now you're going to feel that work that you just did in the places you needed it the most. For some of you, it'll be the shoulder blades. For other, the back muscles. Some of you, it'll be spine. Some of it'll be very specific in certain areas. Maybe mid back, maybe upper back, maybe low back. Then hugging our bellies in, let's press up and back to child's pose. Sinking our hips back towards our heels, finding length through our back. Lifting our elbows up off the floor, hugging our shoulder blades down our back. Feel our head reach forward a little bit. Then lift our head up. Walk our hands over to the right. Stay here lifted or lower down. Lengthening the left side of our back. rising up, walking our hands back to center, and then over to the left. Slowly rising back up. Walk our hands back to center. And then come up to downward facing dog. Walking forward. Let's grab a seat and flip over onto our backs. From this position on our back, let's draw our elbows out away from our ribs just a little bit, not very far. Hands are going to point up to the ceiling. We're going to find our head and neck and shoulders relaxed onto the mat. Maybe begin to rock your head side to side, allowing it to lengthen and soften into this position. Bend your knees, walk your feet in towards your hips. And then we're going to drive our elbows into the floor, lift our chest up, lift our ribs up, drive the back of our shoulders into the floor. Chin stays neutral, neck is relaxed, head is relaxed. Lift our hips up off the mat, keeping the head and neck relaxed. Lower our hips back down, keep our back engaged. We're just going to tap the floor and come back up. And lower down, tap the floor and come back up. One more time, lower down, tap the floor and come back up. Hold here, option to drive our right elbow a little bit more. Lift our left hand straight up to the ceiling. And draw our left elbow back down, press it into the floor. Right hand, reach it up to the ceiling. Bring it back down. Switch sides, driving that right elbow, and then coming back down. Driving your left elbow as your right hand reaches up, and bring it back down. Lower all the way down, and let our arms soften. Grab a hold of one of our blocks. And then we're going to place the block underneath our hips for a restorative bridge pose. Your level, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Let the tops of our shoulders rest heavy on the floor. Let our chin soften towards our throat, closing our eyes, and pause. Noticing the length of our spine, the opening of our heart, letting go through the back of our neck and our shoulders. Allowing the core of our body to remain active as we soften and let go through our head, neck, and shoulders. Slowly lifting our hips up off our block. Place it off to the side. Lower our hips down. Release our shoulder blades. From here, let's take our left arm, reach it up to the ceiling, and then over across our body to the right. You can touch your shoulder, you can reach beyond your shoulder, and then take our right hand, go for the outside of our left arm, and hug it in. And reach both hands up to the ceiling. Reach our right arm across our body and go for your left shoulder or beyond. Take your left hand to the outside of your right arm and hug it in. Letting go of your shoulder, your arm, your upper back. And reach both hands up to the ceiling. Draw your arms back behind you in a variation that feels good for you. Extend your legs. Find the full length of your body. And then soften. Settling into this position of Shavasana. Lengthened version. to our bodies. Inviting movement into our hands and feet. Allow that movement to spread into our ankles and our wrists. Bending our knees, drawing our arms in, give our legs a hug. And rolling over to our right side. Keeping our eyes closed, press ourselves up. Finding our way back to a comfortable seat. Drawing our hands together in front of our heart, let's seal in all that we found in this practice. This practice of honoring self, of meeting ourself where we're at, of learning to let go, even if it's only temporary. Giving our bodies those opportunities for reprieve, rest, and restore. Namaste.